Okay, so now we're going to look at piecewise functions. What this is essentially saying, I know this looks long and complicated, but what this is really representing is that x is going to be doing different things at different places on the graph. Meaning, if we were going to graph this, which we're not, but this is more of an introduction as to what these are, but if we were going to graph this, it would look weird. It would look like three different graphs kind of pasted together. Like, for part of it, it might be a straight line, and then it might be a curve, and then, oh, what's something else that we can do? And then it might go down this way. It would look weird, in other words. So, but this is actually something that does happen quite a bit in real life, where different functions do different things at different places. So, this problem is going to focus on how do we analyze this for different values of x. So, again, this is number 19. The problem asks us to evaluate functions, the function at different values for x. So the first one is where f is -5. So the way you're going to do these problems is you're going to figure out which range, which function, does this x value fall into. Well, if x is -5, then it's going to fall into this first one here, right? Because this is saying for values where x is less than -4, you should be using this function. So to figure out what the function of x is at -5, you're going to plug in -5 into this line here, because this is the function you should be using if x is less than -4. So I would do 2 plus -5, which of course is -3. Okay, and then the next one, the next value for the function that we need is -1. Okay, and so now again we're going to look and figure out which range does that value for x fall into. Well, -1 falls into this range here, right? It is between -4 and +2. So for this one, we're going to use this function for x. So, since the function says it's -x, again, remember that negative goes out in front, and then you're going to plug in your value for x, which would be -1. And if you take the negative of a negative, that makes a positive, so that would be 1. All right, and then again, so we're looking for, this is part C. What is the function at 0? And again, we're going to identify where does the value 0 fall into, which range. And again, that's going to be this function, right? Because 0 is between -4 and 2. So you're going to plug in 0 in for this, so you'd have -0, which you can't have a -0. A -0 is just the same as 0. All right, and then for the last one, we would do the function at 3. Okay, so again, I'm going to look at my ranges here, and 3 is greater than 2. So we're going to use this function right here. So I would do 3 times 3, which would equal 9. So your answers for this one, part A would be -3, part B would be 1, part C would be 0, and part D would be 9. Please let me know if you have questions.